Hola a todos y bienvenidos a Gramática con Señora Yadanza. En este video vamos a hablar de conjugar en el subjuntivo. Hi everyone and welcome to Grammar with Miss Idanza. In this video we're going to talk about conjugating in the subjunctive. For information on when and how to use the subjunctive, you'll have to move on to the other videos, since we will only be looking at how to conjugate during this session. So, let's begin, shall we? Vámonos! To conjugate in the present subjunctive, you need to have a strong grasp of the present tense conjugations. You see, the present subjunctive is formed by starting with your verbs in the yo form of the present tense. This means you have to first recall the present tense yo form of the verb before you can do anything else. So, just in case you've forgotten, let's practice a few to make sure you remember how to do it. What are the present tense yo forms for the following verbs? Hablar, tener, decir, querer, comer, and dormir. Did you come up with this? Bien. You just finished step 1 on the road to conjugating in the subjunctive. Step 1 says start with the yo form of the present tense. Moving on, step 2 says take off the yo. So if we go back to our 6 verbs that we now have in the yo form, we simply remove the o and we're left with this. Now we're ready for step 3. And step 3 says add the opposite endings. This means if your verb is normally an AR verb like hablar, then when you conjugate, you just add the ER endings. So your conjugation chart would look something like this. Do you see where we swap the endings? Why don't you give it a try for yourself by using the verb tener? Does your verb chart look like this? Yo tenga, tú tengas, él, ella, usted tenga, nosotros tengamos, vosotros tengáis, ellos, ellas, ustedes tengan. Vale. Let's try it one last time with the verb querer. We'll walk through the steps and you will do the conjugation chart at the end. So, step 1 says find the yo form. So that means querer becomes quiero. Step 2 says drop the yo. So quiero then becomes quier. And the final step says add the opposite endings. Remember, querer is a stem changing verb. So those rules that you learned in the present tense apply here as well. See if you can get your verb chart correct. Pause the video to make sure you have plenty of time. Does your verb chart look like this? Yo quiera, tú quieras, él, ella, usted quiera, nosotros queremos, vosotros queréis, and ellos, ellas, y ustedes quieran. Did you notice the nosotros and vosotros forms didn't have the stem change? This is because it's still a boot verb, just like it was in the present tense. And according to the rules, everything that would fall inside the boot would have the stem change, and everything that does not have a stem change. Those rules still apply, even in the subjunctive. There are only a couple exceptions to this, and they're for IR verbs only. IR verbs that are stem changing still have a stem change in the nosotros. So for example, dormir normally is an O to UE stem change, but for the nosotros, we will keep the U. We will not change it to O. Same thing with pedir. Pedir is normally an E to I stem change, but in the nosotros, we're going to keep the I. And mentir. Mentir también is a verb that has a stem change, E to IE. But in the nosotros, we are going to keep the I. For these verbs, the nosotros and vosotros forms have these small spelling changes to maintain pronunciation. So again, O to UE becomes U in the nosotros form. For example, durmamos and durmáis. E to IE and E to I become I in the nosotros form. Entonces, pidamos and pidáis, mintamos and mintáis. So, again, how do we conjugate in the subjunctive? Let's recap the steps one last time to make sure that you've got it. First, we have to find the present tense yo form. Second, we take off the O. And last, we add the opposite endings. To end this video, here is a list of the 6 irregular subjunctive verbs that do not follow the rules that we have just practiced. All 6 of them should be added to your notes with their complete conjugation charts.